encontrar outro.
Look at that.
But what it really is suggesting is a kind of group process, a way of working that's all the way on the other end of the spectrum from where a marching band is. So it's a way of working together with a lot of difference. Does that make sense? So they've got all this stuff going on. It's maybe cacophonous or maybe not, but it's definitely diverse activity happening. And yet you sense that they're together, that they're a community, that they are working, that they are interdependent, as you also experienced in these rules this morning, or whatever, yeah? So there's this interdependency that allows for a lot of difference. This is incredibly important in contemporary society, I think. It's the gift I feel like I received from working with Foresight, was this wonderful concrete metaphor that we can see in this dance, that also is a metaphor for how we might want to choose to live. To allow you to be incredibly different from me, and look for the moments when we have aspects of similarity, these alignments. Which one's this?
Superman.
No, Superman.
X-rays.
X-ray vision.
X-ray vision, yeah.
Okay, that's not what we were going for. So we had a good laugh in the studio, and we said, okay, no, we don't want Superman, and part of what's creating that is this in and out and this kind of suck to his nose thing, but we like the intensity of coming from him out. So this is how you learn by doing, or work by doing, really. So then this is the next, or, close to the next iteration. You want to play for me?
It's Godzilla now.
No. That'd be great. I want to play. Some improvisation. Then the question is, how much improvisation is happening, right? And how will we notice? How do we really track this? Well, that's why we make these scores. But I also have a hard time in this interface. Oh, it's going to have the same problem, isn't it? Yeah. So if you look up here, there are color blocks behind these curved lines. You can see the color blocks? Those are the thematic material of the work. There are 26 themes in this dance. Set, choreographed themes. They're very precise. And they don't actually get varied, except in orientation, timing, and number of dancers, which is something that someone over here was also noticing. Yeah? The orange is improvisation. The turning of the fan. And let's be clear, a lot of artistic and conceptual choices go into making this fan. It's not just sort of slave to data. It's data as rigorous connection to the source. So we really stayed close to this choreographic resource, and there's important rigor for us there. The data was one avenue for that. But we're also close conceptually. So we spent 3 years together understanding counterpoint with Foresight, with his company, and with each other. I mean, Matt Lewis and I spent hours debating, he's a computer scientist, the parameters of counterpoint and how much they could be constrained or not to describe them. And then his response was to create this contrapuntal fan. Because these kinds of processes is just...
She observes in this way.
Right.
So she must have drawn that and that and that thing.
What do you
And
think?
then, I mean, it was still his choreography, but...
I mean,
Yeah.
I was doing the things I remember doing the last time, but trying to interpret her.
Exactly.
How the notation was made.
Beautiful.
From which
So
perception.
this is this kind of combining of worldviews, yeah, and the group process. And you start to get a shared vocabulary. And then you can see how something like Giannis and Surreal that we watched in the beginning, how they can really find these alignments because they're so deeply in each other's worlds. Yeah? You start to really understand the vocabulary, even after half an hour. Yeah? I mean, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for taking the risk.
Yes.
I hope I didn't hurt anybody.
No.
Don't stop dancing!
Our one brave designer. So I said, I want a more organic feel. I want to have and I gave her the metaphor of a spider web. That there's this kind of elastic attention that it goes out like this, but then it's still elastic. So then we got Spider-Man. Yeah. And it's great. So again, it was like, great, we don't want Spider-Man, but we do like that kind of livingness of the line. That was really important development, actually. And we went through all kinds of iterations of light. We also thought about leaving them in the space much longer. So you'd see this sort of network of attention that's left over from the development of the dance. And then we play with all different things like this. You know, so they're exercises in thinking.